Please join me to invoke the name of teacher 3 times. Namo Sa Moni Buddha. Namo Sa Moni Buddha. Namo Sa Moni Buddha. The topic I want to talk to you today is again about the practice. You know about, you've been teaching the 101 Buddhism, it's good. But you know, the most important thing is the practice. Nowadays, if the coronavirus, you need more practice. I talked to Master Quang, I said, when I was trained, my teacher told me, after 10 years of practice, you can do the teaching, Dharma teaching, 10 years. That's the minimum time of practice, 10 years. Why is that? I said, because you experience that. You experience the learning, and then you can teach it. And to our understanding, teaching is a 50% learning. When I was in the school of medicine, I admired one of my professors. He said, if you want to teach, you have to learn. It's very true. He told me this way. He said, he's a fantastic professor. He's a chairman. He's a cardiac surgeon. And he's a director of the Anatomic Institute. Very good, very dedicated. He tells us this way. Every time I teach you guys, I go back to my office, I learn the lesson 40 times before I go out. I said, every time I learn 40 times before I go out. He go out, teach the lesson perfect. He draw the picture with 2 hands in the blackboard, never to erase it. He speaks French like a French person. No accent, no thing. Everything he practices so good that he teaches us, yeah. You want to teach? Learn. That thing to do. So the practice is extremely important. With the corona nowadays, you know that we practice loving compassion. But I read about David Brooke on the New York Times the other day. He said at time pandemic, we have no compassion. People become very selfish. When they have a catastrophe, disaster, natural, you have compassion because nothing happened to you, to your community. So plenty of time to help the other people. Katrina, all this, from that, you help because in your community you're safe. But now you don't feel safe at all. So you project the compassion like that. You care about your community, about your family, about yourself. Okay? And reflect on what Buddha teach you. Buddha teach you cleanness. You keep yourself clean outside, inside. So the corona now, it come out, cleanness. Clean your hand, clean your hand. But think about that. A lot of fake news now. They blame everything. They blame the virus from the Chinese. Okay? It's not true. From animal, from bat, something. Some they have their theories that maybe the Chinese, they do the biologic war and they make in the lab, they throw it out. It's not true. We think that if we learn of Buddhism, you have to have a balance. A lot of being, okay, sentient being, the germ too, they are being, okay. They have balance between us and them. You have some imbalance, they overgrow, and we have a problem. You read nowadays, and I do it, okay. We take probiotic. I take it. Because we make a lot of imbalance. We know we have a normal flora, we have flora in our mouth, in our skin, everything normal. We do something, we destroy them, we make the imbalance, they overgrow, and they hurt us because us, we do it, we do to them. So think about that. Think about that. Think about why Buddha, he go barefoot. Because he's not poor. He's the prince, come from royal family. He can have shoes. He can wear all kinds of shoes. But why you have that? Because you go barefoot, you have a feeling. When you step something, you step on animal, some walk, you know it. So you have feeling. You don't step that hard to kill them. Maliciously, you don't do it. So we see a lot of monks like Theravada, they still go barefoot because they practice the way Buddha teaches them. That's the love they do it. You step barefoot, that you feel, you have a feeling. You don't step too hard to kill the other, the ants, everything. They want to live, they want to suffer too. But now we live in civilized society, so we have to have no shoes. We have to have a car. We don't change that, but still we need to practice compassion. So think about why Buddha go barefoot. He can have shoes. Even that time, he come from rich family, royal family. He can have shoes easily. And on his student, they are prince, they are emperor. They can bring shoes to him, no problem. But he go barefoot. That's the reason the loving compassion. So nowadays, if we practice loving compassion, we have to think about that. Don't think too much about the pandemic and we panic. In Buddhism, you have no fear. Avalokitesvara teach you have no fear. That means you show off, you're very brave and strong. No, you practice love. You love everybody. You love yourself, you love one, you love your family, you love the other people, the neutral people. They have no fear. Because they practice love, you have no fear. That doesn't mean you are very courageous. That means very brave. You can fight people. No, just the love. You practice love, so you have no fear. So the cleanness is natural with the Buddhist people. We keep ourselves clean inside and outside. Buddha teach you, before you go to the shrine, you take a shower. You clean yourself, you brush your teeth, clean your hand, everything, before you do the prayer. He teach you that way. Let's think about the Eightfold Path, right thinking, right view, right understanding. You don't hear any fake news. You don't panic. You don't have to hoard food or something. If you do it, you create the panic in society. Everybody go out to buy detergent, to buy soap, to buy everything. We need enough. We have already routine thing we have. In the temple here, I told Master Quang said, we have enough food for months. Because the people bring to us, we never hoard it. We didn't finish the rice yet, they bring one bag of rice. We had everything. We have a soap, plenty. We didn't have a hand soap or something. We have a cake, soap cake, we have plenty. So if anybody need it, come to the temple, we have for you. Now, you want to come in here to stay with us, we have plenty of room in the back. We have 9 units in the back. If you want to stay there, fine. We have a place for you. We have food for you to eat. We have drink for you to drink. Okay? We have enough for everybody. So don't worry. Think about loving compassion. Okay? Because with the pandemic, we are panicked and we don't have compassion anymore. That's wrong. Because with the disaster, natural disaster, we have compassion because we are safe. They have something in Puerto Rico. We think about them because we are safe here. We can go there to help. But now everybody we have in San Antonio, we have in Seattle, we have in Washington, D.C. So everybody gets scared. Nobody think about other people, the other country too. They have in South Korea, they have in Japan, they're in Europe now. They close everything. That doesn't make sense, We have to practice love. We have to practice love, compassion, and apply it. That the practice is so important to apply it. Buddha, 3 things you know already, right? Listening, reading. That's the way why you teach, you learn from 101 Buddhism. But the most important thing, reflection. Reflect what you learn to see it makes sense to you and apply it. The practice, that's very, very important. If we learn, we don't apply, waste of time. Like doctors, what they learn the theory. They have to go to internship, go to fellowship, go to residency, fellowship. Even that one go out. We don't consider them fully qualified. They get in the hospital, they still on probation 1 or 2 years. And they get in the department internal medicine, department family practice, department surgery. They have to practice on the old one. We watch them, the peer review, we review it, help them to learn, help them to get better. Even you play music, you get an orchestra. You don't go out and play that. First you have concert master violinist, the first violinist, the second violinist, we learn all together. The conductor they learn, and the practice we grow it. Nobody can go out and play that. Oh, I finished it, I can go play. They said no. First get in your chair. What chair you have? They designate the chair for you. You have to learn, you have to grow, you have to get better. That's everything in life. So think about that Buddhism. Extremely important to practice it. If you don't practice, you waste your time. Need to practice it. You experience if you practice, you learn. It's very good to learn. It's very good to teach because when you teach, you learn 50%. That's very good. Nobody can teach without learning. We have to learn to teach. I told Master Quang Chi, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. You have to learn. The more you learn, it benefits you. It benefits you first, then you benefit the other people. Buddha always tells you, help yourself first before you can help the other people. If you cannot help yourself, how we can help the other people? So Buddha, help yourself first, help yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, then turn around and help the other people. That's the best thing you can do in Buddhism. Nobody said, I help the other people, and ourselves, we don't help ourselves first. Help ourselves first, get better first, then after we get better, we turn around, teach the other people. That's the best way to do it. That's the Buddhist way. Always practice love. Love is so important, okay? Sometimes we think that we forget because we don't practice. We don't know what means love. If you have love, you have no fear. And no falsehood, no fake news. That's the love, the true thing we do. Okay? Do it. I hope that I talk to Leon, I admire him. He's very dedicated to the temple. He dedicated, I tell him, I'm not kidding, he said, you bleed, you sweat, I don't want you to die, because he got in the first place, I don't want him to climb it high, because his age or something, he fall down, it's a disaster. He can break, he break already. You break a bone, you go to the hospital, it costs a lot of money already, but I don't want you to die, because you need to live, to serve, to help this institution. I'm older than you, I'm died before you, so you have to come here, stay, help Master Quang Chi and the future generation. I tell Master Quang Chi, he said, it's not you, it's the future generation. Means this temple become the institution for everybody. So we have more American monk, more American nun. We want Meda to become a nun, but she doesn't decide yet. I said, Meda become a nun. That'd be fantastic. Okay, we have a monk and nun. At least we have about 2 more monks, 2 more nuns. That's the subway, and later on we become a monastery. Okay, that's the thing we do. We have plenty of place here. We can do it. And my dream, this one, maybe later on, Quantum Alex think about that. We open the 4-year college to teach Buddhism. We train the people. Maybe people we can train young monk, young nun. 4 years. We cannot dream to have 80 graduate school because too much of that undergraduate. I think we can do it. We can find enough teacher. Okay, and we have one Vietnamese monk. He trained from Hoa Xuan, a very good monk. He had PhD in Buddhist study. He's adjunct professor in Houston. He teach many things. I know many of them too. Many Tibetan monks, they train from Ivy League school, from Oxford, Cambridge. We can invite them. We can form a college. I talked to Master Quang Chi, said, that's our dream. Make an undergraduate for 4 years. Some people, they want to continue outside, that's fine. But we have to have enough credential, we make good curriculum and train adequately people. Train more monk and nun. So make it better to serve the community. That's the only way to serve it. If we have only one temple, just stay here, stay put, we never advance it. We need to advance it. We need to go further. So that's the future, okay? I'm 82 already, maybe I'm gonna live 10 more years, maybe I die tomorrow. We don't, nobody know, important know. But as long as we live, as long as Leon Quang Minh live, try to serve, to help. It's not for ourselves, it's not for our name or our fame. We don't need it. We need the service to do for this institution to grow. And we serve. The Buddha said the best way to serve, to practice Buddhism, to serve a human being, if the people. It's not the rope is something, the service. So think about that. Think about what you do for the future institution, okay? And make it better, make it stronger, make it a little bit more developed to serve. That is our dream. All of us dream. Okay? So after we finish the building, we try to expand a little bit more. The next step, I talked to Leon, the parking lot, make more parking lot, at least 50 more parking lot. And then in the back, we make a bigger meeting room in the back. We still have room. We go by step. So this temple get bigger, a big shrine, big meeting room in the back, and more parking lot. So at least we have 100 parking lot. So the people will come in. We have the next, we can have 50 more car. So we have 100 parking lot for everybody. It's our dream, but we will do it. I will leave and I will finish before I die. At least I do 100 parking lot. The next step, I do 100 parking lot. And then the meeting room in the back. So we have something that later on, you can do it. You can expand it. Help Master Quang Chi, help him. And we have more monk and nun. Okay? I tell Master Quang Chi, don't worry about the full ordination. I tell him in 2021, he will be fully ordained. I don't want him to rush it, because if you rush it, he become arrogant. He become short-sighted, okay? And I don't want to shorten his training, because sometimes I train him not only verbally, but by my action too. Body teaching. I tell him, you look at my body teaching. Sometimes even I do the wrong action, it's a teaching. You see, it said, oh, he did it wrong. So he can change it. He said, my teacher teach me wrong. So I can correct it, I can see it. So the good teaching is teaching. The wrong teaching is a teaching too. That's the way you learn. That's the way. If you're a good person, you balance mind. You learn from good and bad thing too. Because nobody is perfect. Okay? Nobody is perfect. I cannot say because I'm the teacher of Quang Chi, I'm perfect. No. I'm far from perfect. I'm very imperfect. But that's the way I teach him. I teach him the wrong thing. He needs to see that's wrong. And next time he doesn't do it. That's the best thing. That's his wisdom. Okay? So I tell him that. Learn. So I tell, don't hurry. He can get ordained the next day, but what does it mean? It means you have to be mature in the practice. Okay? Swan, he's the best monk. He's like a bodhisattva in San Francisco. It takes him a long time to become a novice, but he's a wonderful novice. He practiced. He's called a lot of ordained monk. He said, you're not a monk. Even he's a novice, but he practiced right way. He studied right way. So I tell Quang Chi, be patient. I want you to be patient. I want to be a true good monk. I don't want to get one. You have a name, you have a robe, and you don't deserve it. You have to deserve it. You have to see it. So I tell him in 2021, you can get ordained. But that time, you're very mature. And in 7 more years after that, you keep studying, keep doing it. After 7 more years, he can take student. Now he can take student like a lay student, fine, he can do it now. But for the monastic student, at least he have to be monk for 10 years before he can take it. Before he can take the monastic student. That's the rule in the monastery. Okay, so I want him to be a very good monk, and you help him too. You have everybody help him, so he'll be a very, very good monk. That's what I talked about today, okay? About the coronavirus, everything. So just be careful about the coronavirus. We're not negligent. We're not that, like Alex asked me about my patient in my office. I treat them with love and dignity. Okay. My question I ask them because I know the reason I'm not worried because mostly my patients they are Spanish-speaking people. The reason I speak Spanish, so they come in the love is I'm a established practice. I know them, they're not that rich, so they don't travel. But I will ask them, did you go anywhere besides San Antonio? Did you go to California? You go to Seattle? You go to something? I ask them, but I know that. And I ask them with respect. I tell them that nobody go to China, okay? So if I have a Chinese patient, they've been here about 30, 40 years, I don't worry. Like we have some member here, they are Chinese. People get scared. I said, no, they live here. Like American. One lady, she speaks Chinese only, she from Canada. She come here to see her son, but she's from Canada. She didn't go to, to China, so we don't worry. But I believe in the karma too. It's a collective karma, okay? But we're not negligent. Take care of yourself. Like Leon Quang wrote, 6 feet apart, we don't get too close to each other. We don't shake hands. In Buddhism, we don't shake hands. We bow to each other. We don't have a habit to shake hands. We don't hug. So it's pretty that. We're very careful, okay? But in the same time, be careful about fake news. Be careful about the rumor, okay? I read in the New York Times, they said black people that have coronavirus. So one black doctor, she said, that's a joke. Everybody have coronavirus. And she's a black doctor. She said, that's not a joke. He said, no. Black people don't have corona. They said because in Africa they have no coronavirus. They said they have case now. In Egypt they have it now. In Africa they have it now. Because the people there, they don't travel. Okay? They're poor. They don't go much. In here we're a rich country with a lot of traveling. And Trump say something, he banned the travel from Europe. Now the people rush from Europe, come back home. And the ticket costs $20,000 to it. And they get stranded in the airport. They take 7 hours to check people for Europe, go back. It becomes ridiculous, That's only, Trump, he say that. It will do everything. It hurt everything. You look at the airport now in Washington, D.C., in Dallas, in the crowded. People from Europe rush here. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. So use the common sense. The Eightfold Path, extremely good. The basic teachings in Buddhism, Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, that's the basic thing. We need to know. We need to apply it. If you apply these teachings, that's a fantastic. Practice it. Eightfold Path is unbelievable. That's my talk today, okay? I thought all of you think about the future of our temple, okay? The situation, this one I tell about financial situation. I discussed with Master Quang many times. It's a difficult situation. The nun, she's very good, she's devoted. She works a lot. She makes good money. She brings back to the temple about 4,000 a month, and I bring quite a few money there. But I said to Master Quang, what happens if I die? Because the financial problem is pretty difficult, okay? Quang Chi doesn't make that much money either, okay? So do such a way we can support the temple, because the insurance is pretty expensive. Insurance now about $300 a month just for the temple. Just this one. We have new shrine, maybe it costs more, maybe double, maybe $600 a month. So we see it $7,200 a year. Okay, we didn't pay the water because we have well. The electricity about winter time $300, summertime $600. Okay, so it costs money too. The food is very cheap. We eat about $200-300 a month. It's not that much. The insurance. So I tell that you have to think about that, how to run that temple. The nun, she's very devoted. She work a lot, She come in late, She's very devoted. So I tell Quang Chi that think about that, how to run it. If you don't have the money, the finance, that's a big problem. That's a big problem. And in reality, in many things I have to tell you the truth about. In many Vietnamese temples, they make money. But the Vietnamese oriented people, they're very devoted. They give a lot of money. They're not like American. American, they don't give it, okay? It's a sad thing, it happened. The Oriental, but Oriental people, only this generation, that means 50 above that, they still have that. The new generation, they Americanize. They do exactly like American. They don't donate anymore. So it'll be a problem. And another problem too, if they give $100, they have 100 opinion. They have $1,000, they have 1,000 opinion. They have 10,000 opinion. Very difficult for monk and nun to run it, okay? So I tell Quang Chi this one, don't have a board, okay? The board that's the headache for monk and nun. They will kick you out, they can do something. We have learned a lot. In America, I have about 2,000 Vietnamese temples. About 80% run by board. The monk in the temple, they have a hard time to survive. I have one big temple in Houston, very big temple. The monk in there, been there about 30 years. He built a lot, now they kick him out. Now he's out. He's out, okay? So I tell Quang Chi, said, you have to be independent. You have to do such a way you survive. They donate, it's okay. They don't donate, you still survive. That because you go as a monk and nun to devote your time, your effort to do the temple. You have to do it. So I tell Quang Chi, you have to think about that. The nun, she can bring you 4,000 a month. That's selfishly to cover it, But you see how she have to. She work about 7 days a week, okay, and very hard. Without me, it's very difficult, okay, because we have to think about if we train monk or nun, we have to have a fund to support them. At least we have to feed them. We have to give a good room and board for them. We cannot just that, So that's very, very difficult. So that's the reason why I want Quang Chi to learn, to be very serious, how to run, how to do it. Okay? With the help of the nun, it's okay. But Quang Chi have a big, big obligation in there. See? And I tell him, don't form any board, okay? Many Vietnamese people, they love to get in the board. They become chairman of the board. And I tell Quang Chi, the next thing, you have a headache, okay? You have a headache, they impose on you, and they put pressure on you. You have to do the way they want it. That's very difficult, very difficult. In many temples, I have one temple in Australia. One of the monk, he's like my brother. He said, I'm the 9th Abbot. I said, you have 100 Abbot. Not you only the number 9, but believe me, we have number 100. The way they do, they manipulate, they push you in and out. You don't do the way they want it, you're out. Okay? So you have to be careful, be careful. Many, many temples. The temple Alex go to, the monk he do by himself. Very difficult. Now he built the temple smaller than our shrine here, but it's very difficult. How many years that? I know him, he's friend, but very difficult. He's and his sister, she's a nun. So only him and her, both of them, but very difficult. They have some amount and it's very, very difficult. He developed that temple. It takes so long because only him and the sister, the nun. Very difficult. So Quang Chi need a lot of help, and Quang Chi have to be very brave, very, very wise. You have to have wisdom to do it. Without the devotion, without the wisdom, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. If you want to do it, because it's your life to serve it, you have to do it. And maybe we have a lot of people, I tell him, maybe we have, you're lucky, you come, you have more people like a Leon, 2, 3, 4, 5 Leon, you know. Yeah. No, I said that realistically, okay? Because you like Buddha that time, you know, you have the beneficiary for the orphan and that. He's the one who dedicate, he give the land, make that, and he want to buy from the prince. He said, how much? He said, you want to cover the land with gold, leave. He buys that place for Buddha to make. But you have a lot of people, they dedicate that. You're good. Like you see, Hoa Xuan, when he come from China, he come here empty hand. He buy the Mental Institute from California. He bought it. And he make it a big temple from empty hand. He come from Hong Kong. He come with nothing. Only he's a heart. He's designed to do it. He did it. He did wonderfully. When they have the will, they have the way. Okay. You have to be dedicated. If you're not dedicated, you cannot do it. When I first built this temple, nobody think I can do it. I use my retirement money. I never put it in the money. And one thing too, my son, he went to Vietnam. He borrowed from me $170,000. He never paid me back. I didn't say anything. I didn't ask him. He know it, but I didn't ask him. He didn't pay back. That's fine with me. I said, if he pay me back, that's okay. He didn't pay me back, but he never pay me back. So that's okay, fine too. I never asked. I never complained. I never said, I said, okay. If you want to pay me back, fine. You don't want me to pay me back, fine. But I use all my retirement. So my retirement I talked to Quang Chi about $116 now. That's my retirement. Everything. But I didn't need it because I collect about $2,000 from the Social Security a month. I put in the temple here too. About $2,000 a month, you know. So that, you know. So Quang Chi have to know, Quang Chi have to be extremely brave. That the no fear with the praying Avalokitesvara. So he have that devotion, that, and he can do it. I think if he want to do it, he can do it. So many monks, you see it, so many monks in China and Vietnam, they build the temple up in mountain. They have no money. How they do it? The know-how, he didn't have know-how to build it. They build it with the help of the member, with their devotion. And how they get the water in there. It's amazing. It's amazing. The water is very important. The Shaolin Temple, they transport the water way below the young monk. Had to bring up for the other monk to use it, to transport the water up the mountain. But they do it. They do. Some of them, they're lucky. They have the spring up the mountain. But not everywhere where they have a spring. They have to carry water up the mountain. But they do it. That's my talk today, okay? If anybody have any question, I will try to answer your question. If I have no question, we transfer them later to the chanting. Today we chant the medicine Buddha, okay? Because I try, you know, with our love, our compassion, hopefully we get over this pandemic. Hopefully, it will eventually have got over. it have a balance a little bit. We get over the Spanish flu before, million people die. Then we survive. The plague, black plague in Europe, we survived too. We survive. Human race, we are pretty intelligent, pretty resilient. We will survive. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha. Any positive reaction we accomplish today, we want to transfer to you and wish them that life.
She has, we have 211. You all have what is the medicine group?
Because the mantra is really long. So we do have that, and next week we finish it. The Medicine Buddha Sutra. We project our love, pray for everybody, for the world to get over the pandemic, for our community, especially here in San Antonio. Everybody be safe. Inviting the bell.
Buddhi, speech and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Listen, listen, this wonderful sound brings me back to my true home.
Incense offering.
In gratitude we offer this incense to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout space and time. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting on careful effort, our wholehearted mindfulness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home.
Opening first. The
incense in the censer now is burning. All the Dharma realm in every place, auspicious clouds appearing. Our sincere intention thus fulfilling, as all Buddhas now show their perfect body. Homage to the incense cloud canopy, Bodhisattva and great Bodhisattvas.
verses following.
Homage to the eternally abiding Buddhas, the supreme Dharma and sagely Shanga throughout the Dharma realm and the realm of empty space and brief periods of time. Homage to the fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha, Maitreya, honored future Buddha, Manjushri, great wisdom Bodhisattva, universal great conduct Bodhisattva, all Dharma carrying Deva Bodhisattva, and the magic mountain assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. To Amitabha Buddha in the land of ultimate bliss, Avalokiteshvara, great compassion Bodhisattva, great strength Bodhisattva, restore great vow Bodhisattva, and the assembly of great pure sea light Bodhisattva. Please sit down. Of the merit and virtue of the past vows of medicine master by Durya like the Tathagata. Thus I have heard at one time the Bhagavan was traveling through various lands to living beings. He arrived at Vaisali city of extensive adornments and stayed beneath the tree from which music resounded. With him were 8,000 great bhikshus and 36,000 bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, as well as kings, skill and means enable all sentient beings to obtain an inexhaustible supply of material necessities so that they are without the slightest want. The fourth great vow that in a future life when I attain supreme enlightenment, I shall lead those sentient beings who practice deviant paths to reside in the path of Bodhi, and those who travel the vehicles of the hearer or Pajaka Buddha to abide in the great vehicle. The fifth great vow, I vow that in a future life when I attain supreme enlightenment, I shall enable limitless and boundless numbers of sentient beings to cultivate the path of morality in accordance with my Dharma, to perfectly uphold the three clusters of precepts without exception. Should there be any violation upon hearing my name, they will regain their purity and not fall into the evil destinies. The sixth great vow, I vow that in a future life when I attain supreme enlightenment, if there are sentient beings whose bodies are inferior and whose faculties are imperfect, who are ugly, dull, blind, deaf, mute, deformed, paralyzed, hunchback, or afflicted with skin disease, insanity, or various other sicknesses and sufferings, upon hearing my name they shall all become endowed with upright features, keen intelligence, and perfect faculties, and they shall be free of sickness and suffering. The seventh great vow, I vow that in a future life when I attain supreme enlightenment, I shall call sentient beings who are oppressed by many illnesses and who are without aid, without a place to turn, without a doctor, without medicine, without relatives, and without a family, who are poverty-stricken and filled with suffering, to be cured of their sicknesses upon having my name pass by their ears, so they are peaceful and happy in body and mind. They will have a family and relatives and acquire endless wealth of property and wealth, and even realize unsurpassed Bodhi. The eighth great vow, I vow that in a future life when I attain supreme enlightenment, if there are women who have got to Bodhi for their female body and wish to renounce it because they are oppressed and disturbed by the myriad serpent being female, upon hearing my name they will be able to turn from women into men who are replete with male features and ultimately realize unsurpassed Bodhi. The ninth great vow, I vow that in a future life when I attain supreme enlightenment, I shall liberate sentient beings from the nets of demons and the bonds of heretical paths if they have fallen into the dense forests of evil views. I shall lead them to have proper views and to gradually cultivate the practices of Bodhisattvas, so they will quickly realize uncertain for an equal Bodhi. The tenth great vow, I vow that in a future life when I attain supreme enlightenment, I shall cause sentient beings who fall into the hands of the law and are shackled, beaten, imprisoned, sentenced to execution, or subjected to endless disasters, hardships, abuse, and humiliation, so that they are torn by grief and distress and suffering in body and mind, to obtain upon hearing my name liberation from all worry and suffering by means of my blessings, virtue, and awesome spiritual power. The 11th great vow, I vow that in a future life when I attain supreme enlightenment, I shall cause all sentient beings who are so plagued by hunger and thirst that they create all kinds of bad karma in their quest for food, upon hearing my name and single-mindedly accepting and maintaining it, to be filled with delicious food and drink, and afterward by means of the flavor so that all their heart's delights will be fulfilled. Manjushri, these are the 12 sublime and wonderful vows that the world-honored one medicine master made to unite. One of proper and equal enlightenment made while cultivating the Bodhisattva way. Moreover, Manjushri, if I were to speak about the great vows made by the world-honored one medicine master Venerable like Tathagata when he practiced the Bodhisattva way, and about the merit and virtue and adornments of his Buddha land, I could not finish that Buddha land that's always been completely pure. Are no women, no evil destinies, and no sense of suffering. The ground is made of Vaidurya with golden cords lining the roads, the city walls, towers, palace, studios, windows, and lattice work are all made of the 7 treasures. The merit, virtue that adorns of this land are identical to those of Amitabha Buddha's Western land of ultimateless residing in the 2 Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas. The first is called universally radiant sunlight, and the second universally radiant moonlight. They are the leaders among the immeasurable, uncountable hosts of Bodhisattvas in that land who meet successors that they are able to maintain the precious treasury of the proper dharma of the world-honored one medicine master Vaidurya like Tathagata. Therefore, Manjushri, all good men and women who have faith should vow to be born in the Buddha's land. At that time, the world-honored one again spoke to the pure youth Manjushri, saying, Manjushri, there are many beings who don't distinguish good from evil, who indulge in greed and stinginess, and who know nothing of giving or its rewards. They are ignorant and unintelligent and lack the foundation of faith. They accumulate much wealth and many treasures and ardently guard them. When they see a beggar coming, they feel displeased when they have to practice the charity that does not benefit themselves. They feel as though they were cutting a piece of flesh from their body, and they suffer deep and painful regret. There are other immovable, avaricious, and miserly living beings who hoard money and necessities that I don't even get for themselves, how much less for their parents, wives, or servants, or for beggars. At the end of their lives, such beings will be reborn among the hungry ghosts or animals. If they heard the name of that Buddha medicine master Vaidurya like Tathagata in their former human existence, and they recall that Tathagata's name for the briefest moment while they are in the evil destinies, they will immediately be reborn in the human realm. Moreover, they will remember their past life and will dread the sufferings of the evil destinies. They will not delight in worldly pleasures, but will rejoice in giving and praise others who give. They will not giving whatever they have gradually to those who come to beg. They will be able to give away their own head, eyes, hands, feet, and even their entire body, to say nothing of their money and property. Moreover, Manjushri, there are beings who study under the Tathagata nonetheless violate the precepts. Others, although they do not violate the precepts, nonetheless transgress the rules and regulations. Others, although they do not violate the precepts or rules and regulations, nonetheless destroy their own proper views. Others, although they do not destroy their own proper views, nonetheless neglect learning, so they are unable to understand the profound meaning of the sutras that the Buddha speaks. Although they are learned and nonetheless give rise to overweening pride, shadowed by overweening pride. They justify themselves and disparage others, slander the proper dharma, enjoy the retinue of demons. Such deluded persons act on their misguided views and further cause immeasurable millions of beings renounce their evil practices and cultivate wholesome dharmas, and thereby avoid falling into the evil destinies of those who have fallen into the evil destinies because they could not renounce their evil practices and cultivate wholesome dharmas by the awesome power of the past. Tathagata get to hear his name for only a moment, then after they pass out of that existence, they will be reborn again as human beings. They will hold proper views and will be ever vigorous. Their minds will be well regulated and joyful, enabling them to renounce their families and leave the householder's life. They will take up and maintain study of the Tathagata's Dharma without violation. With proper views and extensive study, they will understand profound meanings and yet be free from overweening pride. They will not slander the proper Dharma, will never join the ranks of demons. They will progressively cultivate the practices of bodhisattvas and will soon bring themselves to virtue. If there are sentient beings who harbor same genus, greed, and jealousy, who praise themselves and disparage others, they will fall into the evil destinies for countless thousands of years, where they will undergo intense suffering. After undergoing intense suffering at the end of their lives, they will be born in the world as oxen, horses, camels, and donkeys that are constantly beaten, afflicted by thirst and hunger, and meant to carry burdens along the roads, or they may be reborn among lowly people as slaves or servants who are always ordered around by others and who never for a moment feel at peace. Such beings in their former lives as humans heard the name of the world-honored one, medicine master Venerable like Tathagata, and by this good cause are able to remember and sincerely take refuge with the Buddha. Then by means of the Buddha's spiritual power, they will be liberated from all sufferings. They will be endowed with keen faculties, and they will be wise and learned. Seek the supreme dharmas and encounter good spiritual friends. They will learn the sadness of demons and smash the shell of ignorance. They will dry up the river of afflictions and be liberated from birth, old age, sickness, and death. Moreover, there may be beings who delight in perversity and engage in legal disputes, bringing trouble to others as well as themselves. In their actions, speech, and thoughts, they create ever increasing amounts of evil karma, never willing to benefit and forgive others. They seek to harm one another. Instead, they pray to the spirits of the mountain, forest, trees, and graves. They kill living beings in order to make sacrifices of blood and flesh to the yakshas and rakshasa ghosts. They rain down the names of their enemies and make images of them, and then they hex those names and images with evil mantras. They summon paralysis ghosts, cast hexes, or commit corpse raising ghosts who kill or injure their enemies. However, victims hear the name of medicine master Venerable like Tathagata, then all those evil things will lose their power to do harm. The evil doers will become kind to one another. They will attain benefit, peace, and happiness, and no longer cherish thoughts of malice, affliction, or enmity. Everyone will rejoice and feel content with what they have. Instead of encroaching upon each other, they will seek benefit one. Moreover, Manjushri, there may be those among the fourfold assembly of bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas, as well as other good men and women. Your faith who accept and uphold the 8 precepts, either for 1 year or for 3 months, practicing and studying them with those good fruits, they may not to be born in Amitabha Buddha's western land of ultimate bliss, to hear the proper dharma, but their resolve may not be firm. However, if they hear the name of the world-honored one, medicine master Venerable like Tathagata, great strength Bodhisattva, inexhaustible intention Bodhisattva, Jododambara flower Bodhisattva, medicine king Bodhisattva, medicine superior Bodhisattva, and Maitreya Bodhisattva. Those 8 great Bodhisattvas will appear in space to show them the way, and they will naturally be born by transformation in the land of precious flowers of many colors, or they may be born in the heavens due to this cause. Although reborn in the heavens, their original gurus will not be exhausted, and so they will not fall into evil destinies again with their life in the heavens, and they will be born among people like a navy people, turning kings, reigning over the 4 continents with awesome virtue, and he's bringing uncountable hundreds of thousands of living beings to abide in the practice of the Tibetan. Born as Kshatriyas, Brahmins, laymen, or sons of honorable families, they will be wealthy with storehouses filled to overflowing, handsome in appearance. They will be surrounded by a great retinue of relatives. They will be intelligent and wise, courageous and valiant, like great and awesome knights. If a woman hears the name of the Lord, sin master Vaidya light the Gauta, and sincerely cherishes it, in the future she will never again be born as a female. Moreover, Manjushri, medicine master Vaidya light the Gauta, attained Bodhi by the power of his mouth. He contemplated all the sentient beings who were undergoing various kinds of sicknesses and suffering. Some suffered from diseases such as emaciation, atrophy, severe thirst, or yellow fever. Others were by paralysis, ghosts, or by poisonous hexes. Some died naturally when young, while others experienced untimely death. He wishes to dispel all these sicknesses and sufferings, and to fulfill their wishes. At that time the world honored one entered a samadhi called extinguishing the sufferings and distress of all beings. After he entered the samadhi, a great light came forth from his flesh. He proclaimed this magnificent Dharani Namo Bhagavate Vashaja Guru Vedurya Pavarajaya Tathagata Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tadyata Om Vashaje Vashaje Vashajas Gate Swaha Namo Bhagavate Vashaja Guru Vedurya Pavarajaya Tathagata Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tadyata Vashaje Vashaje Vashaja Samogate Swaha Namo Bhagavate Vashaja Guru Vedurya Pavarajaya Tathagata Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tadyata Om Vashaje Vashaje Vashaja Samogate Swaha.
We'll go to the 3 records. We finish next time. That's what I think. I
Take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and of love. I take refuge in the Sangha, a community that lives in harmony and awareness.
dwelling
In the refuge of Buddha, I clearly see the path of light and beauty in the world. Dwelling in the refuge of Dharma, I learned to open many doors on the path of transformation, dwelling in the refuge of Shanga, shining light that supports me, keeping my practice free of obstruction. Taking refuge in the Buddha, in myself, I aspire to help all people recognize their own awakened nature, realizing the mind of love, taking refuge in the Dharma, in myself. I aspire to help all people fully master the ways of practice and walk together on the path of liberation, taking refuge in the Shanga, in myself. I aspire to help all people build fourfold communities to embrace all beings and support their transformation.
Sharing the memory.
Reciting the sutras, practicing the way of awareness, gives rise to benefits without limit. We vow to share the fruits with all beings. We vow to offer tribute to parents, teachers, friends, and numerous beings to give guidance and support along the